Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode 26. And I am your co-host, Kiley Wild, and I'm joined by Pete Beckett.
Hello.
How are you in this strange time?
I think I'm going stir crazy a little bit. Mild articles on certain outlets seem to be annoying the absolute heck out of me at the moment, but we'll talk about that more.
Yeah. That's a good reason. That's a good reason to follow Pete's Twitter feed because
there was a bit of
over there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tweet storm before we recorded because I was going through and checking some news and found a couple of spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which in the article in the first paragraph is the worst.
Yeah.
So that managed to annoy the heck out of me. So I wouldn't call it harassment. I would call it my targeted campaign to get blocked by Jason Schreier has taken a step up a bit more.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting to watch as it plays out.
I really hope he responds. I really do.
I'd love to. If he does, we'll do an article about it on Rapid Reviews.
Yeah, I'm going to write the most clickbaity article on him of all time.
100%.
I'm going to take everything out of context.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is it. This is our we're going crazy, stir crazy. Isolation cast.
Yeah, I mean, even to the point where you're socializing with people, which is the worst thing for you in the world.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I'm going to call us a company because it's just quicker.
I call it an outlet.
Okay, as an outlet. There you go. We all decided that we would have a nice video chat, check in, and blah, blah, blah.
Keep everyone cool.
Yep, exactly. I actually messaged Pete and said, I'm looking forward to our video chat.
Yeah, that was really surprising and really weird. Because you're never up for anything.
No.
Ever.
And turns out it was very enjoyable. I was, as they say, 3 sheets to the wind, but it was very enjoyable. I liked chatting with everyone. It was definitely a perk to this week.
Yeah, I would agree because we did a couple, didn't we? We did one in the morning, one in a bit later on in the afternoon with a couple of different people because they couldn't join the first time. It was great fun, and I think it's a good way to get everyone sort of talking and distracted for a little bit, and it really helped actually just sitting there on Friday afternoon just playing away with putting some music together for a review and all that sort of thing. It was great.
Yeah,
it was great fun.
Definitely.
And it definitely was nice actually putting faces to names as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. And for me, accents, because everything I read in chat is in an American accent unless I know the voice. So that's always fun.
Yes, it was quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, for me, it was the funny parts in the second one where you just were getting so drunk that you didn't remember where your web. So you're not even looking straight at the webcam. It's like half your face. It was so weird.
I don't remember very much of our second conversation.
No, I know, because I remember seeing on your Twitter afterwards, it was like, I've woken up after an afternoon nap and it's like 10:30 in the evening. I'm like, what?
My whole time, I guess I had, time dilation where outside it was dark, but inside I felt like it was, 5 or 6 in the afternoon, but it was like 11 o'clock at night because I had just passed right out.
Yeah, got yourself into a bit of a drunken stupor and just passed out at 5 in the afternoon like good normal alcoholics do.
And then the next day, yesterday, I went and built a fire pit. So
as you do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's getting crazy here in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But that reminds me though, that is if you want to get in contact with us, and at the end of course we'll give out all of the various addresses. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys are doing to pass the time. I know most of it is Animal Crossing, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it would be. I like it. I like hearing what people are doing. The creativity that's coming out. It's really amazing. Really.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from people as well, and if some of our listeners would be interested in wanting to do like a video chat and stuff like that, just to keep them company, I'd be more than out for doing that as well.
Yeah, Pete's really
But just I would say just forgive my co-host for her drunkenness. That's all. That is all.
Yeah, because that's inevitable. I can't talk to people unless I have what do they call it? Liquid courage.
Yeah. You have to socially lubricate yourself.
That's it. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So yes, if you haven't guessed, we're having a kind of easy, laid-back episode this week.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of news, but it's
is.
just we had an original plan, but the plan just didn't come through, unfortunately. So we're going to hopefully put that back by another week.
Yeah, and it'll be a good one. So no worries there.
Yes.
But yeah, let's hear about this news for the week.
Okay, so probably the biggest surprise of the entire week, I would say.
Yeah.
Google Stadia goes free.
Yep.
That's all I wrote.
Yep. That's really all you can say, really.
Yeah. So I was looking the article on this, and there was a couple of different outlets that wrote about this. Obviously, this mainly come from Google's blog. I think it was that they, as a result of the current pandemic, they are introducing the Stadia base model, which is something they had already spoken about previously. This is going to be the one where you could create an account for free, play at 1080p rather than the 4K that they've touted for the subscribers model,
which is still
and they would
upscaled. It's not
but you would still have access to the. I think you still have access to the free games as well for 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to switch to and then you have to cancel your subscription.
Yeah.
It's
or it would do that. Well, you wouldn't have to cancel your subscription. It's if you chose to go above the free model, then you would have to cancel it. But if you just got the free model, that was it. Like, you don't have to. I don't think you have to include any payment details or anything like that.
Okay, well, that's good, because my first thought on this was, of course, that they are trying their hardest to copy Nintendo's success.
Yeah, I think so. But also, I do think that they're sort of realizing that the service is not exactly as they expected in terms of numbers.
Yes.
And let's be honest here, we've absolutely bashed all hell out of Stadia from the minute it came out.
I know.
Or even before it came.
Before, yeah. I am not a fan of the Stadia itself or the marketing behind it. I just don't think it's been handled well. So
no, I don't think it has.
I have to be very honest and say that, I'm very cynical towards the Stadia itself. So unfortunately, you'll get a little bit of bias from me, which is this just smells of marketing and trying to recoup some losses to me.
Absolutely does to me as well, but I'm not going to take it away from Stadia.
Yeah.
Or Google, at least. At least they've done something.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Because that's the thing. The service has been flagging since it came out. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
As soon as people got the early units, and they had the controversy with the Chromecast Ultras catching fire, and the fact that there was no limitation on the bandwidth that it was using, and all that sort of thing, it's been a mess to start with.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, the whole thing has been a bit of a mess.
It has.
I think that was proven by the fact that they had no real original games, no exclusives, no anything like that at all. And now they're only just starting to get that.
Yeah.
They should have delayed the service a little bit longer, got everything tested and properly working, got a couple of exclusives on the service from a couple of developers that were owned by Google.
Right.
And they may have seen something a bit different, but this way, they've literally just gone after some games that everybody already knows. Everybody could always already play in a better way.
Yes. Well, that right there, that is the key phrase, what you just said. Because the thing is, and this is for anyone any company going forth that wants to release their own home console, you're gonna have to bring your A game, as they say. Because you're gonna
absolutely.
have to, because you're gonna have to provide high quality hardware and software. Because I can just go out and buy, an Xbone or or a PS4. I can just go buy that. It already exists, and I
me
get
too.
whatever games I want.
Exactly. It's not. I mean, if you already own a console, PS4 and Xbox One, where let's use the example, Doom Eternal's just come out on Stadia, hasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, apparently the game doesn't run at native 4K like
it's just
on
about
Stadia.
To say that. Yeah.
But actually, it is up-resed, which, let's be honest, all the other versions are up-resed anyway, but it's just done in a bit more of a stable way on the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's even at 1080p, it's a very good-looking game.
Absolutely.
I did send you that image yesterday where id Software on the Doom Eternal account posted up a picture of the Doomslayer holding his sword, looking up at a building, saying "Congrats to Final Fantasy VII Remake's release," and it looked amazing. It was so cool.
It was very cool, very cool.
Yeah, I saw it on a walk yesterday, my 10-mile walk, and sent it to you and went, "This is so damn cool."
It is. It's too cool. It's just, I don't know that I have to say, okay. Let me dial down the cynicism a little bit, and I do apologize for that. But the past few weeks, they've been a very strange time for all of us, yes.
Yeah.
Gamers, we have really kind of come together. Now, I know most of the population is playing Animal Crossing, but we do seem to be kind of equally divided between, well, maybe not equally, but Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Doom Eternal. And I love that. I just love that unity that's there. Even though we're all different, we're still together in this. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. I don't think I've ever seen this strong of a unity among gamers, probably ever, because it's usually so much, mine is better, PC Master Race and all that wonderful stuff. But this has been good. I've actually I haven't had to shut my Twitter off too much this week.
I am getting close to muting Animal Crossing.
Oh, well, okay. Now to be fair, I am a little over inundated with Animal Crossing info.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, not enough Doom out there for me, but
I mean, I'm all right because I'm getting quite a lot of FF7 stuff, which is cool. But I get far too much Animal Crossing stuff.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a few outlets like God is a Geek and people like that who are all, like literally every one of their writers are all playing it. So and fans of them, and they're all playing it.
Yeah.
Computer Game Show are all playing it, and fans of them are playing it. It's the knock-on effect you're going to get, unfortunately, is if a major podcast is playing a game, then most people are probably going to jump on that at some point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is just how it is. But at the same time, I just really love the kind of, I don't know, unity, I guess. It's just really cool.
Sorry, were any of these games made by Ubisoft?
I knew it as soon as it came out.
I couldn't help myself. You mentioned game engines. I had to talk about it.
It just came out. I was like, oh, great. But yes.
Anybody and their mothers can make a game on.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I remember, I didn't know that when it very first. We're talking years ago. People started making a lot of iOS games, apps and stuff on Unity, and they looked beautiful. But I didn't know that they were, using a asset pool. They were all stuff was already pre-rendered and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And I used to leave 5 stars on all this kind of stuff. And
brilliant.
And then as I got more and more knowledgeable about it, I was like, oh, they didn't even create those. They just got them out of the library.
Well, it's the same with Unreal Engine as well. Yes. You can you've got a lot of assets on there that you can use, but the good thing about Unreal is that it's quite easy to actually make your own assets in them, whereas Unity it's a little bit more difficult.
It is. That's very true. Absolutely.
So, but I'm glad we mentioned Unity because this moves us on to our next news story.
Interesting.
Yes. So, well, there's a myriad of issues with this game.
Yes.
So, Cooking Mama Cookstar removed from the Nintendo eShop, and physical copies are being limited.
Yes.
This is a weird story.
It is.
Like, really weird.
It's very weird.
There's some. So I'll go through what has basically happened. So Cooking Mama was a series that was on the Wii, the DS, 3DS.
Yes.
I'm sure it's come to other consoles, but I know it was prevalent on the DS systems.
I was gonna say the first time I played it was on a 3DS. So
yes. First time I played it was. So they were due to have a new version come out. Like I said, Cooking Mama Cookstar. For Nintendo Switch, and I think the PS4, but don't hold me to that.
Right.
Do not hold me to that. So suddenly, like one day, I think last week, the game was just mysteriously removed from the eShop for digital distribution.
Right.
And physical copies was being sent out, but most pre-orders were being cancelled for it. So there are very few physical copies. The rumors state that the game was making Switch systems run very, very hot, struggle with having a battery life beyond about an hour, and the game was apparently, and this is the strangest part of it, was apparently mining cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy.
Which is so I've listened to a couple of podcasts about how people mine cryptocurrency, specifically Darknet Diaries.
Yes, that would be a good choice.
One of the things that I find very, very interesting is that these systems have to stay on perpetually.
Yes, that's right.
To mine cryptocurrency, so meaning they run very, very warm, which is exactly the same thing as what's happening with the Switch.
Yeah.
And apparently one of the things that I heard about in another podcast that I listened to, so YouTube personalities, Review Tech USA actually did an interview with Stuart Ashens.
Right.
One of the most OG YouTubers out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were talking about how the GPUs from old cryptocurrency machines were being sold on eBay.
Yes.
But they would actually run like complete dog poop. Yes. So because they've been on for so many hours, and apparently when you bought them and you boot them up, and they sell like stale cigarettes and stuff like that, because people are just sitting in rooms smoking, mining cryptocurrency.
Unbelievable.
So, but you'll notice one thing. What the hell does this have to do with Unity? The game was developed using Unity.
Yes, it was.
And apparently Unity does not run very well on the Switch because it's not developed for the Switch.
Right.
So this could explain why the Switch systems are running very hot, because it's actually struggling with its performance.
That is very true.
But it still doesn't get over the fact that there's a rumor going around about cryptocurrency in the game.
It's crazy because that rumor has been around a while.
Yeah, it has.
And but you're right, because I just remembered the original Cooking Mama was also on the iOS store.
Yeah.
And it did used to run on mobile. I don't know if it's still available because it's been so long.
There is a mobile game, I'm sure of it. In fact, I'm going to pick my phone up whilst you're talking to see if I can find it. You can download it.
And Cookstar, I guess, would be a different iteration. But, I mean, if they're just using their same old Unity code, then absolutely it's going to make the Switch run hot. Unity would be clunky as clunky it could be on a Switch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yes, Cooking Mama Let's Cook is on the iOS and Android stores.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's the one of their most original ones. I remember that.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. And that is,
it's just strange. I mean, the fact that Unity as an engine just can't run on the Switch is quite strange, considering the Unreal Engine 4 seems to work perfectly fine.
Yeah, but Unreal is Unreal.
Very good.
I might
very
be
good there.
A little bit biased. I do very much enjoy the Unreal Engine. I know, but
is that by any chance because you're currently looking at it with Doom Eternal constantly?
Maybe just a little.
Yes.
One thing that I really love about Doom Eternal on the Xbone, which just blows my mind, they didn't use ray tracing, and
that is very surprising.
It's gorgeous. Now, I have said this to you off air, and I may have said it on air, but I know I have off air. Unfortunately, even though it's beautiful and it's running at I think like 60 frames per second or something, it's just smooth and wonderful. I'm so nauseous.
Yeah.
It makes me so motion sickness.
Yeah, you have said this before, and I think what I said to you was because it's running at a solid 60 rather than rather than 30 for most normal sort of games that would play on Unreal.
Yeah, because if I switch over to Fallout 4, I'm not nauseous. It looks slower, it moves slower, but I don't mean that in a bad way. Obviously, that's
no, of course not.
That's my go-to game, so I can build things.
Yep.
And I've literally turned it into just a fancy Minecraft, so I'm not even playing the original story anymore. For those of you out there.
But why would you want to anyway? Because it was terrible.
Yeah, I've literally never finished the story. I just couldn't be bothered. So I just turned it into a Minecraft simulator. But
okay. I mean, but there is a big difference because both me and you are playing games.
Yeah.
For Unreal Engine 4 because FF7 does too, but that's running at a solid 30 rather than 60, so I don't get any of the motion blurring or nausea, headaches, or anything because I'm used to 60 frames because of Street Fighter and other fighting.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm used to games that play at a higher frame rate.
Well, like I've said before, it is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, but I cannot handle it longer than an hour, and I hate that because I generally play games for about 3 to 5 hours. I'm just weird like that. And when I start on Doom, I can't go more than an hour. So sometimes I'll start on Fallout and then switch to Doom, and that'll give me a little extra playing time.
Yeah, of course.
I just get like, okay, I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, and then you go and get your PSVR. Oh wait, no.
I really need to hook that up. I know I do.
This is a lot of money. This is now just a meme.
It's just a meme.
Yeah, you playing your PSVR and your Switch is now just a meme.
It really is. I'm terrible. It
makes me laugh though.
I know. If I was of the more crafty, sneaky way, I could probably sell my Switch for quite a bit of money right now. But...
Yeah, you could. I think the same with the PSVR as well.
Probably.
Yeah. Did you know, interestingly enough, though, since I got the Xbox on the All Access deal at the beginning of the year, my Switch has kind of been neglected.
Yeah, because you were playing mostly Tetris on the Switch, and you were playing it at work.
Yeah, which I now can't do.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with the Switch. I love the system. It's just because I'm at home now. I could just pick up a controller and go play.
Well, see, I was going to say that really, really speaks to how different circumstances lead to different console use. So
yeah, exactly.
All these fanboys and girls, fan people of various different outlets, that right there just shows you it's not one machine for one thing, you know?
Multiple machines, multiple purposes.
Exactly.
I mean, my PlayStation hadn't actually got a use since I streamed Street Fighter 5. And even before that, I was quite tempted to sell my PlayStation.
Right.
But then I knew Final Fantasy 7 was coming out and was like, I have to keep this. I have to. Now I'm playing more on the Xbox because the Xbox is basically my Disney Plus machine at the moment.
Oh, dear.
Look, I'm watching The Simpsons. Don't argue. The good Simpsons as well, not the ludicrous crap that come after season 9, 10, 11. No. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Jerk ass Homer. So yeah. Okay. So should we move on to
yes,
the biggest news story of the week? Let's not bare bones about this one at all.
Yeah.
2 hours before Inside Xbox, the Xbox Direct like thing that they do.
Yes.
Sony decides to unveil their new controller for the PlayStation 5.
Right.
The DualShock 5. No, not the DualShock 5.
Yeah.
The DualSense.
Yeah.
And this is a thick looking boy.
It's thick.
Yeah.
Dummy thick. Oh. Oh gosh.
This controller is weird.
It's very weird.
It looks like a bra. Someone said that the other day, and I cannot get the image out of my head now.
That is funny. That is too funny. I love it.
Yeah, because it's not really going to make sense. Now we haven't really described it.
Yeah.
So I will try my best to describe this as much as I can.
Yeah.
So the controller is thicker than your normal PS4 pad. So I've got my PS4 pad held in my hands right now, and it feels like a horrible mess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this out there. I hate the PS4 controller. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
It's better than the PS3 because it's got a bit more weight to it, but it's still that very plasticky, feels like it's going to fall apart in my horrible fat hands.
Right, yes.
Because I haven't got the biggest hands, but they are quite weighty. So
I have giant monster hands, so.
Okay, all right, fine. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to break this thing all the time.
Absolutely.
And I hate it. Same thing that I have with the Joy-Con.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Stand them because I feel like I'm going to break them.
Yeah.
And they're not. Then they're expensive as well, and that's what annoys me the most about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the handles on what would be on the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller is slightly thicker than the PS4 controller, which good, about time. But then where they've got the light bar. Or the touchpad that you have on the PS4. They've got lights either side of that, which is basically now the light bar, which is underneath the touchpad.
Yes.
But it's two-toned black and white.
Yeah.
So the light bar, so the color black goes, and I'm going to bring a picture up quickly just so I can make sure that I'm just getting this off properly.
It looks like Totoro to me.
So yeah, they are. So yeah, it's white where the D-pad is, and it's white all the way along the top half of the controller.
Yeah.
But where the analog sticks and the speaker is on the PS4 pad now is black. So you've got the light bar going up the side of the touchpads, which look like light up brush straps.
Yes.
and then you've got the analog sticks basically being the boobs.
Yeah. Well.
And it is unbelievably strange.
It is very strange.
They've also ditched the color coding on the buttons.
Yes. Which is
weird.
My god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I've literally just on a Google search, someone has literally memed the heck out of it, so I'm just going to send you this quickly now.
Yes, here we go. Our favorite part.
Sorry, I can't help myself. This is just too good not to show you and get a live reaction to.
I'm sending you an image as well.
Good. Yeah, my neighbor Totoro one. Yeah, I've seen that one as well.
That's just what every time I see it, that's all I see. Let's see.
Good.
Oh yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically
a tank top, but what you guys call
a crop top.
Yeah, or a crop top. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a crop top. So it says Xbox Series Elite controller.
Yeah.
Plus crop top equals PS5 DualSense.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like.
It does. That's the worrying side of it for me.
of course, I have not held it. I do not know anything. I'm purely going by looks.
Aesthetically speaking alone.
It looks like it would break as soon as I picked it up in my monster hands, which is a reference from Archer, by the way. But the D-pad it looks like they've gone backwards.
I don't like it. Yeah, I really don't.
It does not look like it would have any kind of advantage for fighting games, for sure.
To be fair, it does look like a mild improvement, possibly, on the PS4 one. But that's not saying anything, because the PS4 one is utterly awful too.
It's never been my favorite. I don't know.
Let's be honest here. The PlayStation has always had a terrible D-pad on it. Always.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I see what someone else has done. The D-pad almost looks exactly and has the same dimensions as the very, very, very first original PlayStation.
Are you seeing that picture on the Google image search as well? I'm just looking at it right now, and it is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
nearly. There's just a couple of little bits of protrusion inwards that puts the whole thing closer together.
Exactly, it's exactly what I was about to say. So I don't know. I'll have to play on it, but I'm not feeling so great about it because I don't like the actual controller bit. It just looks cheap. I hate to say it. It looks like it will break in just a few plays. Especially if I'm in a particularly aggressive shootout with someone, and look, this is probably gross for people who don't know, but it won't be. You'll understand this. Another thing that happens with people who game for a long time is your hands sweat. And
that's understandable.
Yeah, and hand sweat's very, very important to take into account, especially when you're doing like a multiplayer shooting or whatever, because if your thumb does not hit that stick the right way, if it slides off, if your palm slides off or whatever. That's why I like the X-Bone, because for some reason, just the way it is, my hands sweat less. The length of what appears to be for the PS5, it looks like I'm just going to be sweating all over that thing. I mean, with the long sides and stuff, I don't think that's going to, I don't know. I can't say anything till I'm actually holding it, but it really looks like a sweat machine.
I'm reserved. I would say I'm mostly reserving judgment until I hold it, because I admittedly looked at the Xbox One controller, and thought it looked like a great piece of kit just by looking at it. I absolutely hated it the first time I used it.
Right.
I couldn't stand the Xbox One controller. Because I'd pretty much earmarked that I wasn't going next gen straight away. I knew that I wouldn't. In fact, it was 2016 before I got into the new generation. I was more than happy staying on my 360. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And my Wii U.
I think the only reason...
I don't think I ever think I would say that. I was happy sticking with my Wii U.
You may be the only person who's ever said that.
Look, Smash Brothers was on there. Mario Kart 8 was on there. Yeah. I was posting up video content for Mario Kart with all of that. I had everything I needed on the machine.
Why move forward? Why progress? No,
exactly. because Street Fighter 5 came out. That's the only reason.
Yeah, for me it was Fallout 4. So
that makes sense.
Upgraded. Yeah.
See, you say about me, but you only upgraded because of Fallout, because of Bethesda again.
Yep, I did.
So I'm a Capcom shill. You're a Bethesda shill. We all know it. We embrace it.
But it's so weird because I both love and loathe Bethesda, but right now I'm in love with them.
Yeah,
because
Doom is amazing. I have a love-hate relationship with Capcom at the best of times.
Yeah.
I love Street Fighter, but I hate Street Fighter at the same time.
Exactly. Oh my gosh! And I know this wasn't an official news story, but I have to throw it out there. Did you
Go on.
see that Bethesda has announced that NPCs are coming
Yes.
to Fallout 76?
Yes, I did, because they announced that at E3 and it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. It's crazy.
I read through some of the comments just because I wanted to. I just like doing that sometimes, and everyone was like, "Why are you even? Why is this thing still alive? Just let it die."
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't either. I have no desire, as a diehard Fallout fan, of which I am. I have zero desire to ever enter that game land. No.
Yeah, I don't ever want to. As a fleeting Fallout person, I will never ever touch that game.
No.
So,
It does not
anyway,
exist. But yes.
I will go back to the point I was making.
Yes.
I hated the Xbox One controller when it first came out.
Yes.
Upon looking at the PlayStation 4 controller, I went, ew.
Yeah.
That touchpad was put me off big time.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest here. When I picked the controller up, I went, okay, I can see why people like this. It's got more weight than the PS3 controller. Good. Right. It's about time. But no game's ever utilized that touchpad at all. That's the only one that I know is Terraria, because they could actually use it to increase the camera.
Yeah.
Like, you could zoom in using it by pinching it, which is actually a really good method of using it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as the years have gone by, and after having a bit of more of a play session on Final Fantasy VII Remake, I despise the PS4 controller massively. And now I absolutely love the Xbox One controller.
Which is...
That's a big surprise, right?
It is. It's very interesting to have such a switch up, but I like it.
Yeah. But then again, the Pro controller for the Switch is the best controller I've probably ever used, apart from the Wii U's classic controller. Or Pro controller, sorry.
Yeah.
The Wii U's Pro controller was fantastic.
Yeah, I've never held it, but I do remember reading about it and seeing a lot of positivity about it.
It's so nice and so very, very comfortable. It's they've literally just taken with the Switch one. I think they've taken the design of the Wii U one and just sort of expanded on it, because it's nearly identical in every way.
Yeah.
It's just so comfortable, so easy to use. None of this fluffy technology in there that doesn't need to be.
Yes, it's true though. Yeah, I absolutely agree, 100%. It's my preferred controller, so yes.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll go back to talking about the DualSense, because there's still a couple of other things on there that were detailed.
Yes.
So a couple of people got really concerned by it because they didn't show the bottom half of the controller. Or the bottom portion, to where the 3.5mm headphone jack would usually be on the PS4. People got concerned, thought it might be removed.
Yeah.
It is not. It's still there. But they once again, they have a speaker on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 controller.
Yes.
Apparently, this can be used for partying now.
Oh, okay.
Which they never included that option on the PlayStation 4 to do that. So that's an improvement slightly.
Yeah, but it seems, again, just purely my opinion, but it seems unnecessary.
It is, but apparently there's also a microphone on the bottom of it as well, so you don't even have to have a headset now.
But see, that just, to me, just says, oh, it's going to break really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think that was
I don't like it either.
Great bit of planning. Of course, I love to be proven wrong, so we'll watch and see. But
yeah,
yeah.
It does look like there is a mute button on the controller at least.
Oh, that's good. Now that is good.
That's a nice addition, because who the hell wants to go through menu after menu just to mute someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
So easy.
Yeah, or when you're using a headset and you have to
Yeah.
with an inline controller on the
Hmm.
headset, and you have to fumble around and find it. That's me. I'm always
It's
like,
so annoying.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm always the one doing that.
yes,
So a couple more things that have changed. So to describe this, you know the guide button or the PS button on the PS4 controller?
yes, yes.
You know how it was encased in a circle?
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. The
Yeah,
guide button is now the PlayStation logo and is defined.
that's
Don't like this change.
I.
I think it makes it look pretty ugly.
It's.
It's
Ooh,
garish.
you know what it kind of reminds me of? Now this is just me.
Yeah.
Uh, but it almost looks like something out of Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
And I don't
It
like
kind
that.
of does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Look, okay, it's been confirmed. Mark Cerny did not make this controller. It was David Cage.
That's it. It has David Cage written all over it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so you're looking at the image that you posted over the image. So
Mm-hmm.
you see that little hole in the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's where the microphone is.
Yeah.
But just above that is probably your mute button.
Yeah.
And then you've got the PlayStation logo, which is clearly your guide button.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of other changes to the between the PS4 and PS5 controllers. Is one of them is the haptic feedback that's going to be included on there. I'm a big fan of haptic feedback.
I am as well. Very
I'm
much.
really looking forward to how they actually do it in the PlayStation 5, and
Yeah.
I really, really hope it's not just a really bog standard thing that they did with the DualShock back in the day, where it was just like, let's just chuck a couple of motors in there
Exactly.
and just let it do vibrate whenever and
Yeah.
wherever, and that got really annoying.
But I mean, usually when you're designing UI or UX, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
haptic feedback is usually specifically used to enhance buttons.
yeah,
But these buttons all look, again, we're just looking, we don't have one on hand, but they all look like punchable buttons.
they do. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe on the touchpad it will come into play, but I can't figure out where the actual haptic feedback, as in how it's normally used, would come into play on this controller. So I'm interested to see how this works as well.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this works out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how it's going to. But
yeah.
I mean, obviously, smartphones have had haptic feedback for a very, very long time. The Switch's Joy-Cons and Pro Controller also included it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already experienced it. So I'm wondering how different this is really going to be from something like the Switch or from a phone.
Exactly. So that's interesting to watch.
Yep. So we already knew about this part with the haptic feedback. We also knew about the adjustable tension on the triggers.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
which I really like that idea.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yes, I really like that. For very close to the same reason as you. It's just a multiplayer thing. For me, it's for FPS. For you, it would be fighting. I like to customize those types of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there has been a minor change to one of the buttons on here as well. Right. I'm being a bit coy because I am trying to find a meme that was involved with it.
Of course.
So I can't find it anyway. I'll tell you about it because it was quite funny.
Yes.
So they have changed the share button. Not sure why they would change. So they've changed the share button to a create button.
Yes.
So what this probably does mean is that all of the stuff that was involved in the sharing is now going to be under that create menu. So streaming, picture sharing, video sharing are all going to be under there. Yeah. But do you remember on the PlayStation 4 they had a defunct or a rubbish piece of software called Share Factory?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Now that's probably going to be improved, I reckon. Right. And they will probably include Share Factory as part of that create button now.
Yeah.
Rather than a separate program.
Yeah. Which To be honest, we've said this before on an older episode, but it's still very much true for me. Streamlining and just kind of putting everything at your fingertips for streaming to Twitch or whatever. I am very much for that, because having to stream on the Xbone specifically, you have to go into your game, come out of your game, start Twitch, go back into your game, go back into Twitch, press, start publishing or whatever it is, streaming, whatever.
Yep.
And then go back into your game and play. And it's very, it's very involved. I like the whole idea of just push button access.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's quite nice in that respect.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Okay, I want to call attention to something on this create button though.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at the image and see what the image shows. It doesn't say create, does it? Not like the PS4 controller that said options and share.
Right.
What does it have?
I have to pull it up because
It's basically just 3 lines.
Yeah.
What the heck does that even mean?
Usually that is like a light symbol.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
That's interesting.
So now I'm going to send this to you.
Uh-huh.
Because this is funny, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh, it does look like yes.
Yep.
Looks like Goose. His honk.
Yep, thank you. PlayStation has now included the honk button. Basically, those 3 lines look exactly the same as Goose does when he honks.
It does.
The same 3 lines. So that was the meme, was that how nice of it was for Sony to include a honk button on the PlayStation 5.
That's cute. I am literally going to refer to that as the honk button.
Me too. There is no way it's being called a create button anymore.
It's the honk button.
It is the honk.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about the PlayStation controller.
Me too.
My brain's just like, I'm done now.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore because I think we've covered it in length. Really?
So, yes. Yes, our always well-loved spec talks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, they're always enjoyable.
Yeah. They're getting a little bit more traction now.
They seem to be, yeah.
We went and had a look at the numbers. We try to stay away from numbers because they're not important. It's quality over quantity.
Yeah, I just like to know our numbers just so we can get an average base listenership.
Yeah, exactly. And just to see what you guys like,
yeah, then we can tailor our content based on that.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Well, we've got one more news story.
You.
Oh, I hate this.
Go for it.
So, I have to preface this by saying that please don't do what I did.
Yes.
And create a tweet storm involving Kotaku and Jason Schreier.
Yes. Jason
Schreier did not write this article, but he was involved in one other article. Really ruffled my feathers.
Yes.
So, this article came out the other day. Final Fantasy VII Remake's easy mode is way too easy.
Yep.
Are you... Sorry. Look. Yep. I'm getting a... I don't care. I'm getting a honk. Are you kidding me?
It's true. It's true.
Now, this is why I've brought this up. Because they wrote an article last year saying that Sekiro and all games need an easy mode. But yet now they're complaining about an easy mode being too easy.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
That has made the rounds so much on Twitter. It's stunning, and it's ignorance.
Yep. So I tweeted at Jason Schreier because he is he's the deputy editor, or maybe even the lead editor, senior editor, thank you, of Kotaku. So it should be his job to be vetting like this. And yes, add me another honk. I don't care. Look, you're gonna notice something. I'm getting very, very frustrated about Kotaku.
Yeah.
And Polygon and absolute moronic imbeciles who think they can gatekeep the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gamers gatekeep the industry. What we like is not down to what the journalists like.
Yeah.
In fact, the journalists should be reporting the news, not things like this. This is an opinion piece written as news.
Yes.
This is the way that journalism has gone now, I'm afraid, and I can't stand it. This is why I wanted to bring it up. Because this isn't journalism. This is just blogging, really. In all truth.
It is. That is exactly how that's the direction everything seems to have taken. I've stated that before. My degree in uni was journalism, and this is not what they taught us. This current environment.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't get this. Like, and also I don't understand why they felt the need in the second paragraph to write a spoiler as well for the game.
Yeah.
So I won't say it here because I don't want to annoy everyone. But it was something I didn't want to know about, and I found out about it.
Yeah.
I just went to read an article to cover it in the news, and I've been spoiled about a game that I've been looking forward to for months, years, maybe even a decade.
Yeah. Yep. It was
so thank you.
It was not marked as a spoiler.
Wasn't even marked as spoilers.
Right.
Wasn't marked. There was an article on there that was.
Right.
It said spoilers, but the article title had already said that there was a ludicrous ending, and it was like, I don't want to know if there's anything crazy about the ending at all. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll go back onto Kotaku, find the article, and read out what it says, because I think this is shambolic, if I'm honest. As you can clearly tell, they've ruffled my jimmies today.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake's mind-boggling ending.
Yeah.
Massive spoilers ahead. Obs.
Yes.
Now, Jason Schreier writing OVS is not journalism.
No.
That is, I'm writing like a blogger.
Yeah.
Jason Schreier, you're clearly nothing more than a pent-up piece of shit blogging who needs a better career. Yes, honk me again.
I think you're going to have several honks there.
Yes, I know I am. And I said that the day that I had to bring out the censor would be the day that I cried. I already did earlier in this because this annoyed the absolute heck out of me. Don't worry, I'll find them in the edit later myself.
Yeah.
But
just honk
thanks
all
for
that. Just honk all of that.
Yeah. This is not these articles, and I haven't read the one about the massive spoilers because I don't want to. But the one about the easy mode was utterly insane.
That's just again, I've said it. I am very cynical, and I've been in marketing for a great many years now. I cannot help but think that headlines like that are meant to just get clicks. Clickbait. It's got to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because that's just dumb. I don't have any better descriptors. It's a terrible headline.
Yeah.
How can
it's so utterly ludicrous.
Easy is easy. There is no too easy. You don't get to say that. You don't get to determine that for people.
Yeah. So let me read part of this. Let me read part of this. So I'm going to skip one part because this is where the actual spoiler comes in. It talks about something that happens after you finish the game.
Right.
Which I didn't want to know about.
Yeah.
So I spent 40 hours playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake, mostly on normal mode, the highest difficulty available. It did mention something else, but I'm not mentioning the word there because it will give it away. Yeah. It actually would give it away. I burned through potions and character reviving Phoenix Downs as I battled robots, mutant creatures, and Shinra soldiers. I was forced to repeat many of the game's boss battles after my party wiped, regrouping and switching out weapons and material to make sure my characters had the right tools at their disposal. It was challenging, but never dull. Then came the dogs. What the hell? Another spoiler in there, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not a boss fight. I'm not reading that part. Just a regular encounter between two people and a bunch of other enemies. Yep, I'm being very specific here because I've now been spoiled again. They're overwhelmed by the enemy, and again.
Yeah,
there were just too many of them. I barely had a time to get ATB gauges to the point where I could use spells or cast anything, or use items or cast spells. As Jason Schreier mentioned in his incredibly helpful tips post, there was no shame in switching to easy mode for this battle. After reloading the game from the game over screen 5 times, that's exactly what I did. These enemies, which tore my people apart again and again, went down in under 30 seconds in easy mode. Didn't use spells, didn't use special abilities, barely had any time to do so. Basic attacks, highly ineffective in normal difficulty mode, ripped them apart like toilet paper. Or tissue paper, sorry.
I'm going to make a comment.
You go ahead, because I'm not reading any more of this, because this is trash.
So what I would say, were I to speak with this writer, 2 words, 2 controversial words. Get good. That's no one's fault but their own.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's... You don't... You learn. Games are not there to be handed to you. Otherwise, why would any of us play them?
I wouldn't.
Right. I mean, easy mode is there, in my opinion. It helps you get through the story so you can see the story. Because when I'm on something like Legendary or whatever, I am paying very little attention to the story.
Yeah, me too.
Usually I'm skipping through cutscenes anyway if I'm on that level. So easy mode's really for you to kind of explore the story. It's for you to explore. To try out different techniques and tactics and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't play on normal mode, then get good. Get better.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't... Whining about how an easy level is too easy...
How is that even the case?
I can't even support that. I can't support that. I can't.
I can't.
That's a ridiculous conjecture. It's like, just get better. You just keep, like, okay, you and I have been playing games basically our entire lives.
For long periods of time.
And you get stuck on a frustrating part. What do? You keep playing at it. You keep going. You keep going. You keep going.
What are you talking about? No, I don't do that. I just put the game down and never play again. Joking, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean...
It's too hard. I can't do it.
Like, even today, before we were doing the pre-pro, before we actually were recording, and I was playing around on Doom, just playing around, and I could not get this one part. It's just a dumb... It's not even a fighting part. It's just a coordination thing for me.
Platforming.
Yeah, it's platforming, which is not my strong suit.
No, platforming and FPSs are always bad anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not great. But I did it over and over and over and over and over again. And then finally I saw the weakness of where I was messing up. And I got through it, and it was fine. Not did I ever think I'm going to lower this down, and then complain about it being too easy.
Exactly.
I can't fathom this. The only... I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about Skyrim and Oblivion. When I first started playing them, I started out on the... not the highest mode, but the second to hardest mode. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
And it was too hard. because I'd never played a game like that before. That was probably my first Bethesda game, if I think about it. Oblivion, I mean.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play Morrowind until after. Not that Bethesda did Morrowind. I don't think they did. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, yes, it was too hard. And so I bumped it down to the next level. Still too hard. A couple hours later, I bump it down to easy because it lets you change the difficulty level in game, which I actually very much liked, and then it was fine, and I could go through it. But as I played it, and I played it again and again and again, I increased the difficulty. I just cannot understand or cannot grasp this idea that, I couldn't play it on normal, so I dropped it down to easy, but easy was too easy. Like, really?
Who cares?
I just get better. Get better.
To be honest with you, why does it make such a big difference that you have to tell people you've dropped it down a difficulty? Yeah. Just do it and enjoy the game. If that's what you want to do it.
That's why I think this article was written simply for the headline, because it's
written for clicks.
Yeah, because it's so inane. It does not give you more information about a subject. It doesn't. Well, it does reveal spoilers, so I guess it does give you more information in that way.
So thank you, Mike Fahy. Absolute
more honks. But so I don't know. I feel like, and I also feel like it's an insult to those that are playing it on easy, because that's and I'm sorry. I don't believe in gatekeeping, and I absolutely believe that anyone that plays a game on easy is just as much as a gamer as someone who plays it on legendary or whatever it's called, depending on what game you're playing.
Difficulty level means absolutely nothing at all.
No, I have to agree.
What matters the most is being able to have a shared experience.
Yes, exactly.
With a game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's about the story. It's about the additions that they've made to a story that is 20-something years old.
Yes.
That we're all getting to experience. We never, ever thought we'd get to be in this world ever again like this. And yet we are. And it is beautiful. It is amazingly good to be back how it is. And they've made so many nice additions so far from what I've played of the near 10 hours that actually most of it's quite a surprise. And it's nice. And we can go and talk to each other about that and go, oh, what about when this happened? And what about this? And, in much the same way, sorry, spoiler alert for a game that's 20 odd years old, much in the same way that Aerith's death caused that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody spoke about it. It's still spoken about.
Yeah. Anyone that's in basically our age group
knows that spoiler.
We'll say, oh, what's the most impactful time video game moment, and that's always in the top 5. I mean, it just it was huge. It was a huge moment, and it was before the internet was a big deal, so we didn't get online and start talking.
Spoil it for
exactly. So we all experienced it more or less, at the same time and the same. It was just
in the same way. You didn't hear about it because some hack from Kotaku wanted to put it in a spoiler in an article because he's an idiot and doesn't know how to write.
Yep. And honestly, I can't remember if they had difficulty levels back then, because that's going way back. But I'm sure if they did have difficulty levels, it didn't matter what we were playing on. We all still experienced that equally.
Actually, did you know that quite a lot of games back in the NES, SNES, Genesis, Mega Drive, whatever way you want to call it, none of those games had difficulty levels, did they?
No, I don't remember them having. I don't think I remember difficulty levels until PlayStation.
Sorry, Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 never had them. Mario never had them. No. Sonic never had them. Crash Bandicoot never had them.
Ninja Gaiden sure didn't have them.
Oh, hell no. Ninja Gaiden never have it.
Because believe me, I will say it right here. If Ninja Gaiden, the original on the NES, had a difficulty level, I would have played it on easy. Same thing for Turtles.
Oh, me too.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Battletoads. I would have played all of those on easy if I'd had half a chance.
Honestly, if Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Xbox had I would have used it. Because
Yes.
that game is, on the 360,
Oh,
that game is rock hard.
It is.
Even by today's standards,
Yes.
it is brutally hard. You talk about Dark Souls? Nobody ever talks about Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Xbox 360. That game is brutally hard.
It is. God,
I'd say even more difficult than Dark Souls. Jesus.
Yeah, and that's another thing. And I know this kind of is harkening back to another Kotaku article. But if like I don't like Dark Souls. I don't like Dark Souls because it's difficult. I know that in order for me to like Dark Souls, I have to get good. I don't want to. If they had an easy mode, I would drop it down to easy so fast.
Yeah.
Although
I think most would.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't think that an easy mode would help with Dark Souls because Dark Souls isn't really a lore-heavy story. It is truly about gameplay. And I respect that. Mm-hmm. It's just not what I'm into. But I know I have the knowledge that if I want to play at the difficulty that Dark Souls is set, I have to get better.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, it's where the whole idea of get good scrub came out.
Yeah, it is. And believe me, I've been told that. That's how, I mean, people, because I couldn't understand this phenomenon of people just loving Dark Souls and Bloodborne. And, and I was like, well, I don't get it. Like, you just, like, I die within, the first couple of moves. And they're like, well, it's because you have to get better. You have to get good. You have to get better. And then I would get angry at that, of course. But it's the truth.
I understand the principle. It's like with anything, especially like training for a fight or, things like that. You have got to study your opponent.
You do. Absolutely.
And I can understand where that comes across is you've got to be able to learn from your experience. And that's what Dark Souls is all about, really. It's more trial and error.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And to be honest with me, it's not my kind of fun.
Not mine.
I don't want to have to fail 50 times to then get that jubilant jubilant moment where you've finally beaten that boss who's just caused you nothing but issues.
I don't.
I don't get it. It's not for me.
I don't get pleasure from that. I
don't either.
A shaking mess going. I have to go sleep and take a nap now because that was a terrible experience. Whereas, like, for me, again, FPS is my strength, and just blasting an enemy in their face while you just keep running forward. Oh, now that's appealing to me.
Yeah.
Give me a shotgun and a zombie any day. I would love it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just I like struggle. I like to be challenged. I don't like the challenge to be unfair.
Yeah,
and I do find that Dark Souls can be a bit unfair at times.
Or a challenge for just challenge's sake. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm going to keep coming back to it because it's what I'm playing most at the moment. When I streamed the demo, I struggled with the Guard Scorpion.
Yeah.
A little bit. I died. To the point where someone had to actually say to me in the chat, remember to block.
Yes.
Because it's a new thing to me.
It is. Yeah.
I forgot that there was a block function, and I'm just going in ham. Like, how did I die on the Guard Scorpion when I had to go back through it when I got the full game? No, because I learned.
Exactly that.
Have I died since then? Yes, once. That's it. But that was because of an error I made. Because I defaulted back to I forgot to block.
Yes.
I went in ham and I got stupid. It happens.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm very bad at doing that myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a spray and pray myself. I don't have.
Sometimes I am. Yeah. I don't play nearly enough FPSs to be able to do that though.
Well, it's terrible because I mean, the FPS is that's my thing, and yet I'm still a spray and prayer, so I just barrel on through. Oh, I love it so much. But
do you think though that is down to your background as a person though?
Yeah, I do actually. Or I've even been told that by people observing.
Yeah.
They'll say, well, that's just how Kylie is. She just busts on through. so, so
No, I sort of meant the whole. I was meaning it as a joke.
Oh,
Sorry if that was the spray and pray. You know, that sounds like Texas all over.
Right. Oh no, that went
Yeah,
right
it was
over my
so
head.
bad it went well over your head. No, it was my bad because it was a terrible, terrible joke.
Yes, exactly. That's my evangelical background. But to bring this back around, which I think this is kind of turned into our unofficial topic, which is fine.
Yeah, I think it kind of has.
Yeah. I guess the thing that bothers me is, well, it's twofold. One, there was no purpose to this article.
It's not.
It just wasn't. It was just to take up space and sell ads, is what I feel like.
Well, I mean, the fact is, it's got a huge HP ad on it.
Well, there you go.
Like all over it, like sides, top bar, the whole lot.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I forget what that's called because I've been out of the business for a couple of years
AdSense.
Well, AdSense is what does it, but there's a thing that it's called when it takes over the entire page. When you sell it to someone, because I used to program them, and I can't remember now.
Oh, I see.
But it's been like 8 years, so. But you have to pay quite a bit for that. So that kind of confirms what I'm thinking is it's a nonsense article written to fill space because there's not a lot of news going on right now for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then 2, I just can't, being that I'm a logical black and white thinker, I cannot understand how you complained about normal difficulty and then dropped it down to easy and then complained about that. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Either get better or just accept easy as easy. But again, I have a different way of thinking, and so for me, I'm just completely confused by this whole thing.
Yeah, me too. Okay, can I preface this by saying the very last thing that was actually the last thing on the article on Kotaku? Now this is really bad, really bad.
Oh dear.
So I'll read the final 2 paragraphs. I am the last person to shy away from playing a game on easy, but Final Fantasy Remake's easy mode is a joke. And it's not even the game's easiest setting. Classic mode is easy mode. Only your character attacks and defends automatically. It might as well be a visual novel. I can get that. I mean,
yeah.
Classic mode is supposed to be like the old game. It's supposed to be that way. So, if you want to fully appreciate Final Fantasy VII Remake's nuanced and versatile battle system, play in normal mode.
But you just...
Except for these enemies. These damn enemies.
Yes.
I left the specific enemy out because I didn't want to talk about it. Because, funnily enough, they've got a bloody image on there as well.
See, I just... That was not... That was a huge oversight. That was not... Nobody thought that through.
Crazy.
I hate to say I'm disappointed because I've been disappointed in Kotaku for many years now.
Yeah.
They used to be my go-to source. And
me too.
It just faded over the years, and then they got sold, and I just...
Yeah. Well, it was... I mean, I've used many different sources over the years for everything that I've done. I like to mix up who I read my news from. I don't like to just get it from one source.
Absolutely.
But it seems to me that most articles are all exactly the same for every single outlet out there nowadays.
Well, see, here's one thing. I don't know if the general public knows this or not, so I'll give you a little behind the scenes in journalism.
Yeah.
So, one thing that happens is, well, first you do have production meetings. It depends on if you're a daily, weekly, whatever. So you have your production meetings, and you might assign some stories, that the publishers come up with, or a really creative writer had a moment and said, "Oh, let's cover this," or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then there's this whole subsection of stuff that's emailed into you. It is PR.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So submissions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the press releases is usually what spearheads these. Usually, games and books and music are all announced via press releases. The press release has all of your factual content in there, and then it has some background content and, you know, just some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people do is, if they're a daily, which is it's a struggle, especially in today's current climate. It's a struggle to find daily news. So what they'll do is they'll take a press release, they'll break it apart. Either they'll publish it word for word. I have worked for a newspaper that did that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is a standard practice. Or they'll break it apart, add some of their own stuff to it, pad it out, turn it into a story, and blah. So that's what happens when a lot of the outlets are publishing the same stuff. It's because they're getting the same stuff behind the scenes, and they're not. They're struggling to find news, is what it is. So
yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, so a lot of times you will see the same news stories over and over and over, and the same people quoted, and the same quotes. Yeah, and so there's a little look into the background,
peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm gonna get off of this in a minute. It's just, I don't understand what this article.
It was pointless.
Even if achieves, what does it achieve?
Exactly.
Nothing.
It doesn't achieve
makes
anything.
It makes gamers, or makes people look like absolute imbeciles.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's right. I think that,
to be honest with you, it also to me, in this situation, it just makes this journalist look like an utter noob.
It does, but
I couldn't get past this one section. I had to drop it to easy mode, and now because I've put it in easy mode, it's too easy.
Yeah, the problem with that is just that I know there's people out there playing it on easy mode, and
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They've just insulted a whole slew of people.
Yeah,
you know.
Because just to preface this on one last thing, how many people out there struggle to actually play games, physically or mentally?
Oh gosh, yes. I didn't even take that into account.
Microsoft had to create a new controller called the Adaptive Controller just to help with that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Absolutely.
People don't have the reaction times to play a fast-paced action RPG like this. They might not be able to do that. So an easy mode is perfect for that, is it not?
Absolutely.
And now they've just gone and absolutely insulted a bunch of people who may struggle to play a game because disability sakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
so for being as inclusive as they claim to be, Kotaku, as they claim to be, Kotaku, once again, same with Polygon, have proven themselves to be as exclusive as they have ever been.
Yeah.
And they are trying desperately hard to be the gatekeepers of gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing it out again. You, Kotaku.
I think you should just call this episode Honk.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do that.
It's too funny.
I might even just call it we get a bit honking Larry.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's we're all going a little bit mad, as they say over here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I have to agree with everything you've said. I do agree.
Yeah. You can understand why this really ruffled my jimmies.
I do understand, because here's the honest truth. I'm gonna do it from my point of view. Let's say in a few months, let's say Halo Infinite is coming out.
Oh wow.
I know the basics of Halo. I know the thing that's in every single game and blah blah blah, and that's that's great. But if they were to say, oh well, in the middle of it you come up against this boss, and they didn't give me a spoiler warning, I'm going to be absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. Yeah.
Of course you would be.
I don't want any of the games spoiled for me. I don't care if it's a freaking remake of the first one, Halo CE. I don't care. I don't want any of it spoiled.
No, because they might actually include new things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and to be fair, when they did the Master Chief Collection, they did include new things. And I had to. Yeah, I had to just mute everything having to do with Halo because I love Halo and I don't want any of it spoiled. The whole enjoyment is watching it unfold. Oh, it's so exciting.
There you go. And the funny thing is, it's usually the gamers criticized for posting the spoilers. I have not seen a single person, and I'm so glad about this, other than these journalists posting spoilers.
Now, I unfortunately have.
Yeah, I know you have, and I'm glad you haven't told me.
I have sat on it, yes.
Man, if you did.
I know, I knew, and that's why I've kept completely quiet. Although I am dying to see or to hear your thoughts, which I guess maybe we'll hit next week or whenever.
Possibly. It depends on how much time I get to play through this game.
Well, I was going to say there's no rush because we're all chilling at home.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there is rush because we want to get a review out soon enough.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, because you have another special review coming out.
Yeah. I'm working together with a couple of writers on staff to put together the Final Fantasy VII Remake review together.
Yeah.
It is a collaboration between myself, at 2D Mike 3D on Twitter, and another person who's done some writing for us in the past. A script is done on one part, but we want to sort of take bits and bobs of it and sort of include our own sort of sections in.
Yeah.
But I'm putting together the video review for you. I didn't tell you this, did I? Right? You know, I sent you the music the other day.
Yes.
I went back and listened to it after hearing your criticisms, and you said, "Oh, it all sounds perfectly fine." No, not to me. Well, on my walk the other night, on Friday night, I listened to it, and I listened to it about 5 times in a row.
Right.
And I was just to try and. This is where the insanity comes in for me.
Yeah, that's the perfectionist. I recognize it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I didn't message you. But I literally out loud to myself, and yes, I'm walking on a quiet path with no one else around, so I was talking to myself because I'm crazy.
I do that too, but yes.
I said, "That's 1/16 of an out, too early."
Oh my gosh!
and then after the third time went, "This project has already made me obsessed."
Yeah, because without giving anything away, of course, because I do eagerly look forward to the review.
Yeah.
The music sample you sent me, I really enjoyed. I loved the transitions and everything. So
yes, because I'm trying to do something similar to what we did on the Doom review.
Yeah.
We transition into different types of music across the series.
Yes, exactly.
And with this one, I didn't want to include all Final Fantasy music. Just wanted to include the contrast between the two, the new and the old.
Yeah, which is absolutely ideal for this particular review.
Remind me to talk to you afterwards about an idea I had, because I took that in the message to you the other day. I'm going to try something new with this.
Right.
I've got an idea. I think it'll work.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
But that's another thing I want to say to the listeners. If you are out there enjoying the video reviews as we start to do more and more, definitely let us know. Because it's been talked about a lot in the Rapid Reviews game.
In our Discord, we've mentioned that a lot more people do want to do more video reviews. It's just there are a limited number of people on staff who are able to actually do it, are able to put it together.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not one of them, but I am one of them.
Right.
If you know what I mean. Like, I barely knew how to put the Doom review together, but we still did it.
We did. We made it.
So it was a trial by fire within 12 hours. We had no breathing room to get anything wrong.
We didn't. That's why. Yes, there are a few little bits and bobs here that could have been tweaked, but it's still a feat that I cannot believe we pulled off.
Yeah, like your intro for one.
Maybe
I'm not saying anything more than that.
One day I'll post it up as the terrible intro that never was.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah.
But bring
Move
things on. Yeah, bring things to the next thing.
What? Bring things to the next thing. That's great.
That's how
great
my brain's
podcasting
working
there.
right now. Yeah, no. I'm really good at saying the words out loud. I think all we've got right now is you got this and then the wrap up. Really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But we have enjoyed having everybody stop by, especially during this time. And I know things are a little bit strange, but they're gonna get back to good.
They'll get better.
Yeah.
They will get better. Eventually, they will.
So we'll move on to You Got This, which is our 2-minute segment. That's never 2 minutes, but might be 2 minutes this time.
Possible.
Which I say every week, hopefully. But this week, You Got This is coming from a organization that we as Rapid Reviews support, and I personally love it. They're called Safe in Our World, and they're found at safeinourworld.org. Yep.
They are a very good outlet.
Absolutely. And they actually now have an official COVID-19 section off to its own. So
good.
Definitely feel free to go there and see what they've got listed there. It's really good. But I'm going to actually read from their article called Relaxation Techniques. Because, honestly, I have not relaxed at all. Well, I say that, but the other day when we did our video chats and I passed out from drinking 3 bottles of wine.
Of course.
That was my first time to relax since the isolation became official. I've basically been working nonstop as a way to kind of combat anxiety. But the human body and mind are not meant to do that. You have to take breaks. It's very important. Yep. And in fact, they say relaxation is a must during this time. Why not set yourself 30-minute sessions 2 to 3 times a day to practice these techniques? This will help them become more effective over time and help during this stressful period. So their suggestions are, and I absolutely agree with this first half for sure, find a cool and quiet room where you will not get disturbed. For someone, I don't know, I can only speak from my point of view. For someone whose brain works the way mine does, I love a nice, cool, quiet room. It has to have a sound on, though. It has to have either a fan going or a podcast or something. But I like to just chill out room. That's it. Lie down or sit comfortably with your legs uncrossed. Put on comfortable clothing and take your shoes off. Which I've noticed there are people of differing ideas on that. Being born and raised in East Texas, I'm not a big fan of shoes.
No, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I could happily go the rest of my life never wearing shoes. And I know on the opposite end are people who will not step foot out of bed without a pair of shoes on. So, do whichever you feel best, most comfortable with. Clear your thoughts and focus on breathing. Taking slow and controlled breaths will help you feel calmer when anxious or stressed. Breathing too quickly and deeply might make it worse. To control your breathing, follow the steps below. Place a hand on your chest and other hand on your stomach. You want your stomach to move more than your chest as you breathe. I will do a side note as someone who took music. Yep. That's one thing that you learn is that it's a weird thing, but most people don't breathe right.
No, they don't.
Which you would think that, breathing is automatic, but there is a right way to breathe. And
well, when you're singing, yes, there is.
Oh, yeah,
because,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because technically by singing, you are expelling carbon dioxide and you're not getting enough oxygen in.
Yes, exactly.
Technically.
And you have to breathe from, God, how do I describe this? I think it was described to me that
the esophagus or the
diaphragm.
The diaphragm, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, we only breathe at the very top shallow of our lungs, but if we took deep breaths, and the diaphragm is the muscle that's underneath your lungs, it's what causes you to have hiccups.
Yeah.
It bangs up against your lungs and gives you hiccups. But if you take in the full breath, then you get better oxygen, and you know, it's just that's, I hate to say the correct way to breathe, but that is known as the correct way to breathe.
It's the correct way to breathe.
Yeah. If you can take slow, regular breaths through your nose or mouth, watch your hands as you breathe in. The hand on your stomach should move more, and your chest shouldn't. And that's true. Like, I'm a shallow breather. My chest moves a lot more than the lower half. Breathe out slowly through pursed lips, and repeat this 10 times twice a day. I would just say do that at your leisure.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but it seems silly because a lot of people don't realize that breathing is such an important part of relaxation, because when your anxiety is high, you're in fight or flight mode. Fight or flight mode causes your cortisol and stress hormones to jump up, which causes you to breathe even shallower, which causes your brain not to have enough oxygen to have complete solid thoughts. And so just calming down, taking a moment, breathing, it'll all start to come back together, and you can take yourself out of your fight or flight brain situation. I'm not very good at words. I'm not kidding.
Not today.
Not today. It's been a very long day, but but that is something that it's very good. Like I said, go check out safeinourworld.org. It's just a good place to just read up on all kinds of things, and it is about gaming, but it's about mental health as well. And remember, you got this.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got this. Because we are all in this together.
Yeah, from here on out, I'm going to say we got this.
Yeah, but the sections you got this, so it works better that way.
Yeah. But
this is your section. I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Well, we'll let it evolve. It's a Pokemon. But that kind of wraps us up, really.
Yeah, no questions again this week, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Nothing to really sink our teeth into in terms of topics.
No.
In a sense.
It's kind
disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of slow for everyone with good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, or with understandable reasons.
I think it's understandable completely.
Yeah, but if you're listening to this and you want to just throw us a line of any sort, criticisms, compliments, questions, absurdities, any of those wonderful things, you can actually reach us at podcast@rapidreviewsuk.com. But you can also reach out on Twitter, where we have @RapidReviewsUK, and our podcast-specific one, which is @RRRadiopod.
Yes.
And our newest address to the family, which is twitch.tv/RRRadiopod, which it's always keep an eye open on there. Yeah. I'm going to try and do some streaming this week, I think.
Yeah, I do want to as well, but I don't know if I want to restart Final Fantasy VII just for that. So it might be a Street Fighter stream or something like that.
Yeah. But again, just reach out and let us know what you'd like to see. We're happy to accommodate that for sure.
So long as we have the infrastructure available to be able to do it, i.e. the actual copy of the game that you want us to play.
Yeah.
Or the console that we have to play it on, then fine. I'm more than happy to do that.
Absolutely. And then you can always just stop by and just have a nice chat in the chat. Pass some time.
Agreed.
So, we do have a Facebook page, although I don't think we ever go on it. But there is a Facebook page.
Boomers.
Rapid Reviews UK. And then, Pete, how can they find you?
Well, you can find me constantly harassing Jason Schreier at Pete Beckett.
For real, guys, you gotta get over there.
Honestly, this is now going to be at least once a week. I am going to Andy Dufresne this guy so bad.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's
like, you know how he sends a letter to the board once a week.
Yes.
for a year until he gets what he wants, and then he doesn't get what he wants, so he starts sending one at like twice a week, and
so
just
good.
Until they give him a check and give him loads of supplies. So that's what I'm going for. I'm either gunning for a response or for him to block me finally.
Yes. Well, blocking is a response in its own way.
There you go.
And I'm still tweeting about being autistic and getting diagnosed about it and coming to terms with it. I have some days that are better than others. Slowly but surely.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, it's almost been a year since I got my diagnosis. We'll be coming up on a year in a couple of months here. And,
okay.
It's a lot to handle. It is, but there's good things to it too. But
there are.
Yeah. So if you want to.
But where do they find that? Where do they find that?
Well, if you want to watch the flaming car wreck. It is at Kiley to Greet, which is KILEYTEHGREET. And
good.
Feel free. I am not like you can join in anything I say. Like you can always just comment on it. I'm there, and yeah, absolutely. And I think that about wraps us up. So I'll do this last bit, and then we'll get our game fact. But I say it all the time, but it is very, very true. We really do appreciate you guys stopping and listening, especially nowadays. I know things are strange, and we hope, and I'm kind of speaking for Pete here, but I think I know him well enough. We hope that we're kind of bringing you a kind of normalcy in this new normal, as they call it. We're releasing every week. We're trying to stick to the same schedule, and we will continue to do that. We have no plans to just stop.
Nope.
And our topics may change because plans fall through, but outside of that,
they do.
We will try.
That's about as much as it's going to be, really.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to try and be a kind of grounding thing, that we're always here.
With a constant.
Yeah, constant. That's the word I'm looking for. And we appreciate it very much. It's something we both do because we enjoy it. We don't get paid. We don't advertise. So any likes and subscribes and what do you call it? Reviews? Even
just telling someone, just telling a friend is enough for us.
Exactly. Leave a review, and it can be an honest review. Like, we're not looking for, 5 stars. Yeah. These are the greatest people in the world.
I'd prefer honest criticism.
Exactly. We're both of that mind, which I do like. So, all in all, thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate it. And now, Pete, hit us with that game fact.
Okay. So we all know the company Hori, right? Maker of peripherals and other things.
Yes.
Now, did you know that they released a special controller to coincide with a particular release of a particular game in Japan? The game was Onimusha 3 Demon Siege.
Oh dear.
For us over here, it will be Onimusha. I can't remember what the subtitle was, but it was the one that had Jean Reno in it.
Okay.
It was called the Katana.
Oh.
So if you would kindly scroll up to your spoiler image and reveal.
Yes. Pete has put a spoiler image in our chat, so I'm now going to reveal that.
Please work. I really hope it has actually worked, because it doesn't seem to be opening for me. Oh, there you go.
No, it's opening. It's just taking a bit. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
That's very strange.
So basically, it's a katana sword in its sheath, but with buttons on the sheath.
Yeah, Wow, that's a strange one. That's a very strange one. I think we need to put that on the Twitter, because that's...
I will put... Yeah, I'm going to post it up on Twitter soon.
Because that is a strange one. I'm trying to work out, because that's...
That's blown your mind, doesn't it? It's like, what?
It has blown my mind. It has absolutely stumped me.
Brilliant. I'm glad I could do that.
Yep, absolutely.
Good.
But thank you guys for joining us, and like I said, we'll be here again next week, and the next week, and the next week. As long as you'll have us.
And for the foreseeable future, for so long as one of us doesn't die.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Or I get legal action from Jason Schreier for harassment.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.